Hey, it's Dennis. I wanted to start having some truck talks. I wanted to do this from the cab of my truck because I wanted you to know that I don't come up with these ideas and topics sitting behind a desk every day. I'm actually out in the field working most days. I'm currently managing a 75 megawatt solar project in Florida for the owner. It's an EPC contract. My 4 primary functions here are overseeing safety, making sure it's a safe site. This customer is very serious about maintaining a good safety record. My second task is quality control. So I walk through the site every day and inspect all the work that's been installed. My third function is enforcing the contract. And fourth is making sure that they are completing to their schedule. So the way that I check their schedule is when I go through and do my quality checks every day, I make a list of all the material that was installed from the previous day, and I enter that into a program that I have. Inside that program, I've already recreated their contract schedule, what they're supposed to complete to, and their project schedule, the one that they're actually working to. And then as I enter in these materials, it creates a actual schedule or record of what's actually happening on the project. So my schedule and their project schedule should line up, and if they don't, then we have discussions. But that's not what I want to talk about today. I actually wanted to toss out an idea on how you could boost your production with your existing employees. I know that employees are becoming scarce in our industry, pretty much nationwide. And it's especially hard to find really good ones because all the really good ones are working. So I think it's important to try to squeeze as much as you can out of the crews that you have. And if I wanted to start boosting my production today, the first thing I would work on is my company morale. You know, I think most contractors have the misconception that they pay people to come and work every day. You don't pay people to work. You pay people to show up. I've actually worked for contractors in the past that have had a large portion of their workforce quit on them. The problem was those employees kept showing up and collecting a paycheck, but they weren't getting much done while they were there. And so you need to create an atmosphere where these people actually want to work. Now, if I had some smaller projects, what I would do is around quitting time, I would start visiting my projects. I'd have my foreman or site supervisor line all my workers up, single file. Done this a lot in the past. It's a little bit awkward the first time you do it. Most of them feel like they're in kindergarten or something. But they get used to it and they learn to like it. And then I would go up to the first person in line and I'd shake their hand and I'd say, hey, thank you so much for being here. Thanks for your hard work. Thanks for your contribution. We couldn't get this done without you. And I just want you to know that I really appreciate you and I appreciate your efforts. Then I'd go on to the second guy in line or gal And I'd shake their hand and I'd say the same exact thing, and I'd work my way right through that line. I'd thank every single one of them. Now, when you do this, every hand that you shake isn't going to be the hand of a hard worker. Some of the people you shake hands with aren't going to get very much done at all during the day, probably. But that doesn't matter. And here's why. When you leave that job site and, a day or two later, employees start getting together and complaining, which is something employees do, some of those people are going to stick up for you. And they're going to say, you know what? Maybe this isn't a perfect company, but at least he comes out here and he shakes our hands and he recognizes us and he thanks us for our hard work. And I've never had anybody do that before. And they're going to start quieting down the noise, the negative stuff. When I've done this in the past, I have had grown men, and I'm talking about older men, almost cry because no one had ever thanked them in their entire work history for their hard work and for doing a good job. And it really has an impact on them. And when I started doing it, I used to enjoy going out and just making people feel good. But what I found out over time is that it makes me feel good. It makes me feel good to tell people that I appreciate them and thank you for your hard work. And, if you'll go out and do that, I don't know, every few weeks to your job sites, you're going to find out that as time progresses, more of those hands that you shake are going to be productive workers. It really does have a positive impact on them. And it has a positive impact on your production. And so, there's other techniques that you can employ, and, I'll be having some discussions on those as well. But, in order for you to get the best impact out of, accountability, tactics or other methods of pressuring your crews, the first thing you have to have is their attention, and you have to have their heart in the project. They have to be wanting to work for you. And the best way to do that is to build a good relationship with them. And I'll tell you what, people want to succeed. They want to do well. And if you'll just let them know that you appreciate their good efforts, they will work for you. And I know that a lot of companies have special recognition for employees, like Employee of the Month. But the thing that you really need to realize is that everybody doesn't work at the same level. It's just like that kid in high school that got straight A's without cracking a book. And, you had to sit there and study for hours every night just to get a B. People in the workplace are the same way. A lot of these people, they come out and they work really hard. They show up every day and they just really put out their best effort. Maybe they don't rise to the level of the guy who can, or gal who can, screw off half the day and get more done, if you know what I mean. But they're working harder to do that little bit less. And you need an aggregate of people. You can't find all, geniuses or prodigies out there to do all your work. You have to work with everybody. And you need those people who are willing to work hard and but not get quite as much done. You need those people.
Man, you in luck.
Brother, what's up?
What you doing right now?
Not much.
You want to come witness some testing?
Sure.
Voltage open circuit.
I'm not signed on your paperwork.
You good as long as you with me. Come on.
All right, let me flip around.
All right.
Thanks, brother. All right, well, it's time to go to work. So, let me just close by saying that it's been my experience that most employees want to succeed. They want to work hard. They want to do a good job for you. You need to appreciate them. Build some goodwill. Get out there and let them know you appreciate them. Let them know you appreciate them, and get their heart into the work, and we'll discuss some accountability tactics and some other things that can kind of force them to produce a little more for you. Have a good day.